Today we're going to be talking about alternatives to resin. The reason popular creators go viral so often is because of their professional and high quality looking work. You might have a great DIY idea, but you don't have access to resin or you don't want to use it. So how do you get professional looking pieces without using resin? This feels impossible, and it's one of the hardest things to learn when you're starting out with clay. But the good news is, there are products out there that can do this for you. I've asked hundreds of creators on TikTok to give me the best products they have used instead of resin, and they all had similar thoughts. So in this video, I'm going to break it all down. These are the proven products to use instead of resin that give protection and a professional look to your finished work. By the way, I'm Ophelia Lane and I'm obsessed with collecting hobbies and sharing art tips with you all. Alright, let's start. There's 3 options I want to share with you today with a bonus at the end. I'll go through and share my research on why certain options are better than others, how they work, and what to expect when using them. So option 1, Podge is a classic and an all-rounder when it comes to DIY projects. It claims to be a sealer and a finisher. It can be used to protect your pieces once they're painted and dry, but you might want to think twice before using it. Common Podge problems include the more layers you use, the tackier it can become. It even says this on the packaging and suggests in order to get rid of this to use a clear acrylic sealer on top of the Podge. Now immediately this product kind of becomes redundant in our quest to find an alternative to resin when you need to use 2 products just for the first product to function as intended. However, I want to point out Podge is great for so many other uses, and it isn't a bad product just because it's not right in this instance. I've had this one for a while as it was a staple for me in my DIY days when I was a beginner artist, and I know it's the same for a lot of you too. So on to option 2. Nail varnish. This was suggested a lot to me by other artists in my comment section on TikTok. I'll leave the link in the description if you want to read the other suggestions made there, but here's why it was suggested. It adds a glossy finish like resin, it can add a layer of protection to your paint and designs, and it's pretty cheap. You're probably thinking that it might be a great option for you. If you're just starting out or you're on a budget, I can see why nail varnish sounds like a great option. But here's why I personally can't recommend it. As people have pointed out, once cured, the varnish can have a lingering smell, it can be tacky, and it can yellow over time. In this instance, I've used UV cured nail varnish. Now, that is an option for you, but personally to me, I think it's quite expensive for how much you actually get, and it does require other equipment in order to be able to use it. I also found that it did discolor some of the paint that I had been using on these little hearts, as you can see. And that's just not the same quality that resin supplies when getting that professional level quality. And that moves us on to option 3, high gloss acrylic varnish. This is what I personally use as a way to seal and protect my pieces. It works like other varnishes in the sense that you can apply it with a paintbrush and leave it to dry. It's self-leveling, so I like to coat my pieces on a flat surface and leave it to dry like that. You can apply multiple coats to get a thicker layer of protection. It's non-yellowing and water resistant. You're probably wondering, what are the downsides of this product? Because everything has downsides, so let me lay them out for you. It can be an expensive upfront cost. That being said, I bought my bottle in 2020 and it's still going strong almost 5 years later. You can also get smaller bottles. If you compare that to the small bottles of nail varnish or Podge that you would buy, it's probably a worthwhile investment. It's water resistant and not waterproof, so while it can withstand some water interaction, it won't offer full protection from water like resin does. I've used it on things like coasters where they might come in contact with water rings, and my pieces still look like they're brand new, so I personally don't see this as an issue. So unless you are looking to completely submerge your pieces regularly, it offers enough protection from water to be a solid alternative to resin. Another downside is that it does take longer to dry than resin, especially UV cured resin, as it's not an instant cure. This to me doesn't really matter, as I'm happy to leave it to dry for a few days. So unless you're working on a time crunch, this is a great alternative to resin. You can also use this product for both indoor and outdoor pieces. I had a couple of people ask me whether it would be a good option for outdoor pieces, and it states on the bottle that it can be used for both interior and exterior work. So here they are all laid out side by side, and you can kind of see the differences from piece to piece. So with the nail varnish, it did discolor slightly. With Podge, it's pretty thin and there is a little bit of discoloration in there. And then with the high gloss acrylic varnish, it has applied a really nice coating, and I think it looks the best. And as I said at the start, I do have a bonus option for you all, and that is called a glass medium. This product is a little bit different to the ones I've shown you previously, as you have to mix it with the acrylic paint that you're using and apply it in that way. So what does glass medium actually do? I find that it adds a really nice shine to your paint, I find that it helps the paint attach to your dry clay pieces a lot better. I've had issues in the past of paint peeling off because the clay wasn't quite dry enough or it doesn't quite have enough to attach to. I've found that this product has really helped reduce that. You can cure this in the oven and the paint will become scratch resistant, water resistant, and give a really glossy finish to your work, as you can see here. You can combine this with the high gloss acrylic varnish to give a really durable finish like you can see on this coaster here. Again, this can be expensive if you're on a budget. However, if you're looking to get a resin alternative, this is a great addition to your collection and again can last a while as a little goes a long way. To round up, resin can be messy, expensive, toxic, and difficult to use. If you're a beginner or you're looking to change up how you work and still get that professional high gloss look to your pieces, but without the resin, I really recommend looking into the products I suggested. Overall, the winner, in my opinion, would be the high gloss acrylic varnish from Liquitex, and while it can be expensive up front, the payoff is worth it. So if you're looking to make a more permanent switch, I highly recommend going with this option. It's easy to use, relatively fuss-free, and doesn't require a whole separate setup in order to be able to use it. And as an added bonus, it can work really well with a glass medium to create a high quality and professional looking piece. Again, these are alternatives to resin that you can use in your work whilst maintaining a high level finish that makes your pieces stand out. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments and please like and share. Also, don't forget to check out my link in the description to read what other artists were suggesting in my comments and the advice they give, as I wouldn't have been able to make this video without it.